Canada is 2 seats away from a political earthquake, and this is just the beginning. So, just out of nowhere, none of it, the province, the city, the entire region that most people don't know about, their NDP incumbent just crossed over and became Liberal. And now Mark Carney sits 2 seats away from having his majority. And next week, there are 3 by-elections. If he just wins 2 of them, it's a majority government. And Mark Carney will have what I've called already a majority government. And why is this actually important? Because once he has a majority, that's it. See you later, everybody. Forget about your debates. Forget about trying to figure out the common ground. Mark Carney will have supernatural powers when it comes to Canadian politics, right? Because basically he's got the majority and he can do whatever he wants. Now, why is this important? Why are so many people switching? Now, you have to be fair. You have to be open-minded. You got to look at this through a very pragmatic perspective. Under Justin Trudeau, the Liberals were perceived to be extremely ultra-left. So everything left was Justin Trudeau. Mark shows up on the scene, and he's being viewed not by voters, but by actual MPs as being center. So what's actually happening is NDPs that don't fully align with the hardcore left-leaning policies kind of see some value in the Liberals. And when you have your hardcore conservatives belling the drums for war and being, whatever the conservatives are these days, whatever slogan is good, because axe the tax is gone, right? They lost that idea. So whatever their slogan is right now, and that changes with the wind, conservatives that can see that they're kind of more middle than Pierre, if that makes any sense, they're also seeing the value of becoming on Mark Carney's team. And that's kind of the political situation that we're in right now in Canada. And a lot of people don't want to admit it. A lot of people don't want to see it. But the fact remains that Mark Carney was, as far as I'm concerned, meant to have a majority government under the context of what we have right now, under the financial, economical, and global circumstances that we are right now. The only way to run this government, and I know this is super contrary to politics and democracy, is you need one man steering the ship, right? This isn't meant to be a show. This is meant to be full out diplomacy, politics, war, right? That's what's supposed to be happening right now. You don't need an opinion. You don't need to hear other people criticizing you right now, because Canada's survival is what's important right now. So, you want to debate the budget, sure. And I know, of course, we are the ones going to pay all the bills for it. So Canadians had their chance. Canadians could have voted for other people, but they put their trust in Mark. They put their trust in the Liberals. Right or wrong, we're about to find out. But Mark Carney always needed a majority. Mark Carney, as far as I know, was guaranteed to have a majority, and sooner or later he's going to have his majority. And once he has his majority, it's full speed ahead on the Mark Carney agenda. Now, love him or hate him, being a banker from England, being a banker for Canada, there is a lot of suspicion around Mark Carney. Let's be real here. For those of us that are reading, for services that see what other people are saying, that we're not just on the Mark Carney bandwagon, there is a lot of negativity around the individual, right? But for the sake of Canada right now, regardless of who the leader is, I think they need to have a majority. That's kind of what I feel right now, that you don't have time for this, this bickering that goes on in Parliament, right? A lot of this stuff is more theatrics than anything, more scoring points, more getting the voters to support you and building up your momentum, right? But the reality is Canada is in a really serious situation here, whether it's talking about its economic policies, whether it's talking with its American counterparts, whether it's talking about what it's going to do with China, whether it's doing with Japan, whether it's doing with India. It needs to do a lot, right? Canada needs to survive Donald Trump. That's the name of the game. Canada needs to survive what's going on in America, and the only way to do it is to move quickly. And unfortunately, debating takes time, right? And I know that's what we signed up for. As Canadians, we've signed up to love this sort of democracy. But you know what? I think democracy, and this is extreme, right? So hence the show Tarek Unfiltered, but this is a wild opinion. This is a wild take for sure. But when you actually need to make decisions, when you actually need to get things right for your country, assuming you actually mean well and you care about your country, you're not just going to rip it off and pillage it and put it into shambles, assuming you want to do well for the country, in the climate that we're in right now, there's really no time for debate. Donald Trump's got 4 years to either destroy Canada or for us to get a deal. And debating what to do, contemplating what to do between not just your immediate cabinet, but with the opposition involved and the third party and the fourth parties, and everybody has to have their say. And there's no time for that, right? I've seen a couple of TikTok reels. You see what China can do. When China decides that they want to build a bridge, boom, they start building a bridge. For Canada to decide to build a bridge, takes decades. To build a bridge takes decades. And then when you think you got it all figured out and you could just open up that bridge, your neighbor that signed up to do it decides, you know what? No, we're not opening the bridge. And there you have democracy at its finest. Just any random mixture of things seems to be happening right now. And that's why, I've always had this disdain taste for democracy, because really, is that the best system we have? Winston Churchill even mentioned it, that, it's the best of what we got right now. And the problem is, I don't think there's been much evolution on this subject. I don't think people are actually pontificating what could be better than this, because there's obviously major roadblocks. There's, when you're planning to run a country and you got 4 years or 8 years terms, you're planning on 4 years, and a country is hundreds of years. So even the mindset of putting together a 4-year plan or an 8-year plan is just ridiculous, to be honest, right? There needs to be long-term plans. You can't have these 4-year budgets. Like, all these things doesn't actually make sense when you're running a country, right? Because the economy can change like that. What you make can change like that. And as you can see, once a new president comes in, the whole world can change. So the system's no good, guys. Like, that's my humble opinion. I know it's, our constitution and our charter and so forth and so on, but it definitely needs to be reviewed. There is room for improvement at a bare minimum. So Mark's going to get the majority for sure. I have no doubt in my mind, because why wouldn't he? Right? Even if you're a politician right now and you see the amount of fanfare Mark Carney gets for them, because it's insane, right? Everybody loves Mark, right? Unless you're like this diehard conservative right now, which there are many diehard conservatives right now, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But when you're a diehard conservative, anything Mark says is just, bad, right? It's just not good news. So you don't care. You're never going to care. You're in your, you got your visions on, you got your blinders on, and you're going for Pierre all day, every day. Pierre's the best. And again, Mark comes with his luggage, and it's big and it's huge and it's disappointing sometimes. But you need one person steering the wheel right now. And that person is Mark. That's what Canadians chose. And he is going to run this thing either to the ground or have some hope and optimism for us Canadians. And you got to see it from the politician's perspective. Under Pierre, will they win another election, or do they have a better chance of winning with Mark? Even the mathematics for MPs is better with Mark, because Mark has come up with this incredible PR campaign about Canada being united. And it really is brilliant, because either you're on Team Canada or you're not. And that's just the sentiment of it, because all the daggers are against us in Canada, right? Everything's against us. No, we have to survive. We have to rebuild our country. We need to rebuild our infrastructure. We need to rebuild our trade agreements. The whole thing has to be redone. And that can't be done with infantile, juvenile opposition. And that's really what we have with Pierre as the leader. Now, if we had someone else as the leader of the Conservative parties, hey, it would be a hell of a show. But with Pierre holding the rein, him guiding it, him pushing it, no way. No way would we have a chance against Donald Trump. No way would we have a chance on the global stage. So, Mark was the best of what was available to us at the time. Now, is he the best person to lead Canada? Probably not, right? Anytime I hear banker, I get suspicious. So probably not. But that's what we got, right? That's unfortunately what we got. We don't got more than that. We got exactly that. So we got Mark Carney, and all the MPs are in love with him, and they want to join up with him, and they can get their pension, they can get paid, and they become ministers, and they can even get more money. So the MPs have their own incentive as well. Don't make any mistakes about that. It's not just they want to support Canada. They want to win another 4 years. So of course, everybody's on Team Mark. And if there's one thing that really was in favor for Mark, is his speech at Davos. Like, if we just focus on that, every world leader wanted to be Canadian. Every world leader thought that is the best guy in the world. So of course, MPs are eating this up. They are just slurping down Mark Carney, right? Let's just be honest. That was a brilliant. Who wouldn't want to be part of that team, right? Like if you're just being honest, and that politics is all theatrical presentations, it's just a big game, and we just got to get votes, and they're just doing a charade for us, right? It's what is really changing in politics between liberals and conservatives? Like, really changing? Unfortunately, I don't think much. But between leadership, between Mark and Pierre, I think individually skilled, these guys have a world of difference. I think Pierre's skill set is somewhere in the middle of nothing, and Mark can actually do something. Now, will it be in the best incentive of us as Canadians? We have to find out. It's kind of early to tell. But he got rid of the carbon tax. So that was like the conservative thing, right? That was literally a conservative thing, and he did it, right? He's doing trade with China because America said, we're going to be unreliable, so I dare you to do something. And Mark dared, and I think everyone can appreciate someone stepping up. I think also good move, right? His speech at Davos talking about middle powers, okay. So he's doing a lot of things. Now, the thing that I will criticize Mark on, and I've said this multiple times, is everything he does about weapons and firearms is just ultimately annoying. I don't know why he sits on that. I think they're just going to drag it out. This is my take. For all the conservatives watching, my take on the firearms and Mark Carney and the liberals, this is my hot take here, is I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to wait. They're going to drag their feet. They realize they've spent so much money already. They're actually saying now for every one firearm, it's going to cost roughly about $26,000 for the government to try and obtain it. So number-wise, if Mark Carney's even a junior banker, forget about managing the World Economic Forum, forget about being in all the Bank of Canada and England and all his accolades and working with Brookfield and all those things that everybody knows about, there is no way the cost is justifiable. So they're just going to take their time, go super slow, wait for the conservatives to win, and then it'll be on the conservatives to get rid of it. Because I think the liberals think there's just too much positive energy on this bill. Like, yeah, get rid of guns and firearms. That's an amazing idea. And I think that's where the liberals are. They're like, oh, our base really likes it. It sounds so cool. And I'm sure it doesn't. And anyone with this much of IQ, and I'm sorry if your IQ is less, knows that this is a complete waste of a bill, that they know that firearms have nothing to do with violence here in Canada. Canada is very different than America, but they're trying to make it all into one. And it's not. It's completely different in Canada. The amount of effort and schooling and education you need to do in Canada to obtain a firearm is no comparison to what's going on in America. So for us, we already have our firearm safety here. So there's no reason for them to go even harder, unless, of course, they want to disarm the population. And that will be at any cost necessary. So that's yet to be seen. Like, how far is this agenda? Is there like a secret agenda to disarm Canadians and make us basically people that walk around with, I don't know, some sort of useless weapon that can do nothing? Is that the plan? If it is, then this is the move. So then 26,000 will actually be nothing. They'll be willing to spend 50,000 if the goal is to disarm the population completely. But Canada's still being a wild place, right? You go to Northern Ontario, you go to Nova Scotia, you go to New Brunswick, you go to Alberta. There are beasts in people's backyards. So they can never completely get rid of it. The Indigenous people, firearms is part of Canada. We're not in Europe where there is no wild animals anymore. And even Europe has wild animals, right? But this is Canada. Like, we got wilderness, right? Have you ever seen our money? Have you seen our passports? There's animals in these things for a reason. So I don't think they can disarm us completely. So we'll see what the plan is with there. But ultimately, Mark Carney will get his majority. I am telling you right now, he was promised to have a majority. He was guaranteed a majority, and he will absolutely get his majority. So that's my take for today, guys. Big news with the new re-election seatings, because it's going to be a big, big deal. 2 seats away. And I guarantee you the next time we talk, Mark will have a majority. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.